Hi, I'm Ashley Poduska, appraisal coordinator and an associate appraiser here at People's Company. At People's Company, our appraisal department diligently tracks all agricultural land auctions from different brokers across the state of Iowa. We're also starting to track these types of auctions across the Midwest. By analyzing these sales and the data that comes from it, we can get an accurate snapshot of what the current agricultural land market is doing. We publish this data on a weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly basis. To give us a starting point for what the land market's been doing, let's take a look at what the last year brought us. So the chart you see here is a month-by-month snapshot of the 2021 Iowa land auction results. The gray bar on the left represents the average dollar per gross acre that month. The light bar towards the right represents the average dollar per tillable acre, and the blue line represents the average dollar per CSR 2 point. In case you're unfamiliar with how we calculate those values, the average dollar per tillable is calculated by gross sale price divided by the tillable acres. But we only calculate those tracts with 35 acres or more and 85% more or more tillable ground. So it has to be highest and best use of agriculture and primarily tillable before we calculate the dollar per tillable acre. Dollar per CSR2 is calculated by taking that dollar per tillable acre, dividing it by the average CSR2 for that tillable land. So you can see generally there was an increase over the 12 months. There's a couple plateaus, a little bit of a decrease here and there, but we went from $132 per point in January to $176 per point in December. Now we also look at this on a 5-year historical trend. So this chart here represents the average dollar per CSR 2 point over the past 5 years. This one differs a little from the previous chart. The gray bar represents the number of tracts that sold that quarter. So not just the number of auctions, but the number of actual tracts that were 35 acres or more, highest and best use tillable, that sold. So you can see towards the left, Q1 2017, there were 98 tracts that sold with an average dollar per CSR2 of 115. Again, there's a little bit of a rise and fall through the next couple of years with a sharp decline in Q2 of 2020, which was the beginning of the pandemic. There was a lot of uncertainty during that time. A lot of auctions were canceled or moved to online, which people are familiar with. So that was a very uncertain time, which could be the reason for that decrease. However, over the next few quarters, you can see a sharp increase in not only the dollar per CSR 2 point, but the number of tracts that sold. We went from, even let's say before the pandemic, Q1 of 2020 had 124 tracts sell at an average dollar per CSR2 of $111 per point. In Q1 of 2021, there were 157 tracts selling with an average dollar per CSR2 of 138. We ended up Q4 2021 with 584 tracts selling in Iowa at public auction with an average dollar per CSR 2 point of 170. That's crazy. That's unprecedented. Now, many people are wondering what is going to happen throughout the next year. The answer is we don't know. And I'm not here to predict in the future. I'm here to tell you what's going on right now. In January, the average dollar per tillable acre was $12,575. The average dollar per CSR2 was $163.29. Now, that's an 8% decrease from the month before and a 4% decrease from the quarter before. So 4% decrease from the $170 per point to the January average of $163. But it's still early in the year. We don't know what's going to happen. And the last few weeks have also been uncertain. The first couple weeks in February, there weren't a lot of auctions to get a good feel about what's going to happen. But last week, there were quite a few more auctions happening. And the average dollar per tillable acre was $13,378, bringing the average dollar per CSR 2 point up to $170.70. So that's almost identical to what we saw in the last quarter of 2021. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of the year turns out in regard to Iowa land sales. Many wonder if 2021 was the peak for prices, but we have yet to see. I think prices will be dependent on various factors such as interest rates, commodity prices, and availability of land. Speaking of land sales, People's Company has a busy spring as well. If you go to our website, peoplescompany.com, go up to listings and then to the drop down to auctions, you can see all the auctions we're offering across the Midwest and really across the country. I believe we have more than between 30 and 40 auctions coming up through the end of March, beginning of April. If you visit the homepage and click on the link on each listing, you can get your full brochure, you can get FSA maps, soil maps, aerial maps. Our marketing team does a really great job on our brochures. I also mentioned that we publish our auction results on a regular basis. You can find this on either our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, or on our website under the blog page. So the People's Perspective blog. All of our branches and People's Company publish blogs on a regular basis. This includes farm management, brokerage, and appraisal. So we really have just a wealth of information here on our blog page. I hope you found this video informative. Thank you for following People's Company. I look forward to the year ahead and what the land market has in store. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.